Well, I've been giving you my review about Battlefield Bad Company Beta. Some of the things that I want to discuss about the game that, for the life of me, I don't really comprehend. Maybe I just don't get it, and it's something to do with, because they're doing a destructible background or something. But, I'm going to cover the controllers first. Okay, as you can see in the controllers, back in the day, you were able to, the directional key was used for, in Battlefield 2, if you played the console, was to scroll through your items that you had in your inventory. So for instance, you would have grenade, knife, SMG, and C4. So you could scroll in a circle and quickly get to your weapon. Now, if you get into a fight with somebody, to toggle through an item, you have to press the left bumper. So, and then it's, instead of just one fluent motion with the circular directional key to go to the item that you want, and you basically know where it's at, because all you have to do is, if you want it, let's say you wanted the knife, all you have to do is go up on a directional key and it would come out. So as you were running out of bullets with your SMG, you could hit it up on a directional key and you'd automatically be on your knife. Versus here, you got two they split the directional key up on the toggle buttons on the left and right bumper. So you're sacrificing, what they call it is like take a screenshot, and it goes down to the directional key, and then you see the left bumper is toggle a item, and then the right bumper is toggle a weapon. So the weapons would be on the right. So instead of going in a motion, you have to take both of your index fingers and you have to stop what you're doing. It's really two motions. You have to use two fingers to go through your weapons instead of one. So instead of one directional key for picking all four items, you have to use two buttons to pick the item that you want to use when you're in the middle of a fight. So you could be using your machine gun, and then you don't even have a handgun with some characters, and then you want to switch to an item that can save you. Like an SMG guy, he only has a knife. So if you get, and you can't even unlock the other items, but in beta, but if you get into a fight with somebody and you run out of SMG bullets, that's it, you're done. Because you have to toggle out your weapon, or toggle out the item and then toggle out the weapon. So you got to use two fingers instead of one. All for take a snapshot screen button. Really, I'm baffled by this. It really slows down the gameplay, and there's no point in it. And then after you take out the knife button, instead of when you use the knife button to produce a knife, you have to pull the trigger to use the knife, but it has a Y button to produce it. So it's kind of misleading, because you pull out the Y button, you think you got to keep hitting the Y button to knife, when it's the trigger to knife. And then when you get done with the knife, you have to hit the knife. You have to hit the toggle weapon to go back to your weapon from that. So you see all that time in the middle of a fight. It's like you got to be Super Finger Mario to get it done. Versus in Battlefield, it was just a circular directional key. You got into a fight. If you were really good at moving your finger around in a circular, which made sense, then it'd be easily come out. I hope this is an option where I can care less about a screenshot versus the fluidity of my gameplay in a dedicated server game. That's just some of the things that I wanted to cover. I know it's beta. I know nothing's going to be perfect, but you think that the control scheme from Battlefield 2, if you want to take a picture, why don't you put it in the back button, or You know, put it in the back button. Nobody uses the back button. You know, if they want to see nobody uses that. Why don't you put it there? You know, it's useless. And then they took out prone position, which is really, you know, I understand some of the reasons why, but you can see, like, you know, if you're firing at somebody and then a group of guys come up on you and you're on a hill, you can't hit prone. All you can do is run, and you're going to get shot in your back and die. And then everything's a two-step motion. So, for instance, if you toggle your weapon from your right bumper to grenade launcher, and then after you shoot your grenade and you get in a fight with somebody and the guy starts coming up on you and you shoot the grenade and you miss him. Well, you want to go right into shooting him. So what you have to do is toggle down to the weapon. You have to hit the toggle button and then go to the fire pin, the fire button, which is the right trigger, which it should automatically be hitting the fire button, and then that should go straight into shooting, because it's just like that on your weapon. You're gonna hit the switch on your I mean, there's not even a switch on the real M16. If you go from a grenade launcher and you got the trigger right there, it goes to shooting. I mean, you have to toggle down to you have to toggle down from the grenade launcher to the regular rifle to shoot the weapon. Now, if you run out of your bullets and you want to switch to the knife, it's not automatic. Then you gotta toggle left bumper for your knife, or you gotta hit the Y button for the knife, and then you gotta toggle the right bumper to toggle out of the knife. So, I mean, it'd be so much simpler with this directional key. I don't know what they're doing with the controllers on that situation. Also, the helicopter controls are messed up. You know, they're inverted from Battlefield Bad Company 2. I mean, helicopters ain't supreme in this game, which is fine by me, but at least if you're going to put them in the game, let us fly them. I mean, you can't even change the inverted flight access to have the helicopter fly fluently. You know, and you only give us one style for the helicopter keys. On Oasis, you give us, here's what's really EA is infamous for. They'll give you a beta like Oasis, and then everybody will bitch about it and say, oh, the tanks are overrunning us and they're too powerful and that map's unbalanced. But yet they won't give the engineers landmines, so that way you can stop them tanks from coming in to the first gold stop in Oasis. I mean, you give them artillery, 4 tanks, and a helicopter. That little spot up front is basically useless, and you give them an arty strike right off the bat, so you can't even jump in a tank to defend that spot. So, I mean, and you can't spawn behind it, so it's a useless spawn. It's a useless point. You're gonna die. If you're on the other team, defend. You're gonna die in that first point. So it's like you should give some buffer time on that artillery strike, and give the landmine guys, the rocket launchers, their engineers are landmines, because rockets suck. They do no damage. They're garbage. What else? I mean, there's so many other things I want to cover, but I can't remember everything. But those are the main things that, you know, that is slowing down the gameplay right now. You know, and hopefully I can get to some of the other stuff later, but that's just mainly it for right now. That's all I can think of. Graphics are pretty good. I like the graphics. They're great. The gameplay, you know, it's a little slow. And yeah, you know, in these gold crate things, you know, I'd rather have team deathmatch and conquest. Let's not try to reinvent the wheel. I mean, you already had it. I mean, all anybody has to do is steal Battlefield 2's idea, make some rendered graphics, do a little bit of better job on the engine. That game would be huge. But instead, you guys try to scrap the whole thing and do something new. I mean, like destructible zones and blowing up everything, but what's the point if you can't even play the game?